Bobby Okereke, linebacker with the Indianapolis Colts. Make sure you follow my guys at the Anvil, best sports talk podcast going on with Colts right now. Tune in.
It seems like a Sunday, like anyone before. That's what you think. So you open up the door, you feel the buzz, you can hear the people singing battle cries. Lucas Oil Stadium's about to come alive. Blue and white jerseys, some old and some new, all gather round South Capitol Avenue. They come for the tailgate, some drive and some fly. Colts fans show up with fire in their eyes, yelling, "Go Hosts, go Big Blue!" We're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation. We take this very serious, it is not a joke. We're back, all the players, we're back in it, coach. We scream and we root, we raise up our fist to support this team from Indianapolis. Go Hosts, go Big Blue! We're in the stands, cheering for you, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, the Colts Nation, Colts Nation. Screaming, "Go Hosts, go Big Blue!" We're in the stands, the tried and true, here to watch this football sensation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation, yeah, Colts Nation, that Colts Nation. Come on, let's go, Colts Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hey, we're back. Welcome to the Anvil Show with your boy Big Pete, Clyde the Voice, T Frost, your boy CJ, Chase Vader, and Big Country. Again, welcome to the Anvil Show, baby. Let's go. That's your cue, Clyde.
Omaha! Facts. Pat set me up on ghetto over here. All right, now, while we have your attention, please like us, follow us, and subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. Hit that bell for notifications. Glad to have a full panel back. Me and Pat are trying something new, so y'all stay with us out there. We got to use hand signals because I'm in Patrick's house, nice and cozy and toasty underneath his blanket and his recliner, making it mine. But good to see all y'all faces. How y'all boys doing?
What's up? Doing great.
What it do?
Look, he's not even paying attention.
Clyde, my bad. Big P, how you doing today? How you doing?
You're not watching the signal.
So we all know Big P's been bald for a while, but don't get it twisted. He's not a monk. But he's trying to take a vow of silence right now for this show for some odd reason.
Anyway,
Big P.
Okay.
Hey, Big P, you be paying attention. Hey, on the show, not your phone.
Well, look, I'm gonna keep this on all day because I was legit today. So that was really cool, really dope experience. Yeah, so I'm rocking with this all day long. If you don't know what this is a pass for training camp to be all access on the field, talk to players, coaches, just see things up close. It was kind of humbling too, man, to be inside the media, I guess, media tent and see the likes of Zach Kiefer, Bob Kravitz, Stephen Holder, and just feel like you belong, right? I wasn't, in awe or starstruck or anything. They just regular guys, so it was cool to be around them. But in other news, Patrick, look at my cue. You have news to announce, right?
He been stupid.
All right.
Someone get this motherfucker some subtitles.
We got confirmation today that next week we get to have Curtis Brooks on for an interview. Now it's going to be pre-recorded, but hopefully we'll be able to get some snippets of that interview done and play them during our show next week when we're live. If we can't, it'll definitely be on our YouTube page. Back to you, Clyde.
Well, thank you, Big P, for that. That was pretty good. We can.
What's this?
I don't know. No, it's like I don't know. We gotta get our broadcast and shit going on. But no, man, it's good. We just going back and forth, having a good time. Let's go around the room. How's everybody feeling? Thomas, when he talks to you in a minute, look like you just woke up from work.
Yeah, it has been a minute, but I'm glad we're having a show today. I was right waiting last week. I was like, man, nobody's saying nothing, so we didn't have a show last week, but I'm glad we're here today. So looking forward to this interview we got coming up.
Jace, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, fantastic. Been working a lot, and like I said in previous shows, my adoption for my son is complete. So it's nothing but good vibes now. Just work and bust my butt for the family.
What's up, Steve? Country, how you feeling, man? When the next time we're getting a cooking with Country or F. Tom Brady from your nephew or godson? Like, what we doing?
Well, we'll get it done as soon as possible, guys. I know I've been lacking on that, but we've had a lot of family trauma here lately, a lot of family drama as well with a recent passing of a family member. So just bear with me, and we'll get you some episodes of Cooking with Country on very soon. Other than that, I'm blessed. Can't complain.
CJ, how's father life going? How the little son of yours doing?
Future Colts player Tobias Jackson is doing great. He's doing good.
Tobias Patrick Jackson.
Oh my God. No, it's Omaha. But he's doing good, man. He's healthy, he's getting big, so everything's great. But speaking on us, what about you guys? How, first of all, Clyde, because Pat been there a few times, but Clyde, you going to the Colts got a media credential. How was it like? Did you talk to any players?
No, I didn't well, okay, I'm lying. So we did get to interview a few players when they came to the tent after the practice. So we asked a question to Mike Strawn. We had asked a question to Zaire Franklin, and asked a question to Bernard Raymond, however you say his name. Sorry,
Raymond.
To the Rook, Raymond. Yeah. So Patrick, of course, didn't do his job. He was supposed to get that ready for the show, but it's Patrick.
So I had to work while this dude was sitting in my chair on my heating pad snoring. Now, old Pat plays some video games. This is the first downtime I've had in all month.
Flick it up, man. But anyway,
anywho.
But I got a question. So, did you personally hey, how you doing? Talk to anybody besides the players or coaches or?
Well, so when you're out there on the field on media access, you're supposed to act like you've been there. So I learned that. So I seen Shaquille, and I kind of spoke out. He didn't hear me, of course, but Pat gave me the look like, can't do that. We're media. So I was like, oh, okay. So then a couple times, Stephon Gilmore came over, and I didn't say anything, stuff like that. But, I kind of shot him the deuce. He shot me a head nod. So it was kind of cool just to be up close and see everybody up close.
That's what's up.
I didn't really talk to him like that.
I'm
Gotta
glad
act
that
like you've been, you know.
yeah. But I'm glad you enjoyed yourself though. So
Yeah.
what did anybody that stood out for you like during training camp today? Like man,
Absolutely. I took a few notes, man. So it's like a couple things happen. So you get to watch like a true leader and like Matt Ryan. So one thing that he did early in practice, he ran there was like a wheel route to Kylan Granson, and you could tell he didn't put enough on the ball. He just kind of lobbed it up and it was short and it got tipped up and incomplete by I think it was Nick Cross. So you seen Matt kind of like pat himself on the head, like, damn, I messed up. Said something to Kylan. They went back out and they ran like 3 or 4 more plays, and he hit all of them. Perfect stride.
mm,
Caught Naheem deep, caught MPJ 11 deep, and then hit 2 crossers or something like that. But you could see like that kind of like ticked him off, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, I ain't messing up no more. So that was cool to see. Though later in practice, there was an amazing play. There was a route that was run, and I think it was, let's call it Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore undercut MPJ, and the ball went up in the air, right? And I'm telling you, it's like a 4 yard dig, bro. Like, Buddy had to really get on it. Julian Blackman. He
okay.
ran like 4 yards and dove and caught it and scooped it up, and the whole team, whole practice went crazy. And you just see like this effort, bro. But it's good to see Julian coming off his injury that he last year, and he's still able to make plays like that, man. So it was good to see. That's the type of stuff that stood out today, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, ever since it's preseason first preseason game, which we're going to talk about here soon. But from how he performed and it's carry on to practice and so forth, I think that he's going to be pretty good. So I'm glad that he is still progressing because I always thought he was going to be special.
Yeah, what's up, Dre? Yeah, I was at training camp today. But nah, I mean, you're 100%, man. Like, to have a young secondary, with the exception of Gilmore, he's our wily vet at 11 years. But the rest of these guys are like so athletic, and they can make plays that it's seemingly like they shouldn't make. I mean, we
Hmm.
watched the game. It's the first preseason game, but we're gonna talk about that. But I mean, like, they still had that turnover, like, ability that they've been showing for the last 2 years, and it seemed like it was even more aggressive. 5 turnovers in a preseason game, like, that's nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, it's a preseason game, but still, like, just seeing their activity, and that's what I saw a lot of today, like, just activity on in the front four, rushing the quarterback off his spots, making them make decisive decisions. And there were some mistakes. Like I said, I talked about Matt Ryan. Nick Foles had a couple here and there. But yeah, those dudes just get after it, man. So it's good to see athletic players in our defense making athletic plays. I know that sounds kind of, silly, but honestly, like, sometimes you just don't see it. But these guys, you see it. Like, every play could be some type of big play, turnover, interception, whatever.
So from what you saw today, and yeah, we're going to talk about the first game preseason. Um, do you think our defense going being raised up to a whole nother level? Like we could be the top 10, top 5 defense out there.
I mean, yeah, you always want to give yourself a fighting chance and feel like, you're that good. But again, we seen from the preseason game that, Buffalo's second team offense was definitely able to move the ball. But hearing the guys talk and some of their pressers after practice, you realize they still learning this defense. Terminology is a thing. So anticipation is a thing too, because players just want to make plays and show that they belong. So we got to work those kinks out and just being, patient and staying in your areas. But I think this defense, honestly, if we're not top 5 in yards, we'll definitely be 1-2 again in turnovers. I think we'll be 1-2, maybe in like, what do you call it? I guess like scoring defense. I feel like this is the type of team that'll have 6 touchdowns or more on
Okay.
defense.
All right.
Fumble recoveries, pick sixes, that type of thing.
Okay, Pat. So, a question for you, sir. You was at the game. I mean, at practice. Anybody stood out for you? Like, man, this dude was even extra phenomenal out there. Is there somebody out there that just stood out for you?
Well, the person I was really keeping an eye on was Michael Strong. came off the pup list. This was his first action in training camp. So I just wanted to kind of keep an eye on him, see how he was doing. He was looking good.
They can't hear you, Patrick.
Why?
We hear you. We hear you through his microphone, but not yours.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, what I was saying was I was keeping an eye on Michael Straw and see how he was going to perform today, being first day in training camp off the pup list. And he looked good. He looked strong. Didn't look like he was holding back any. So, and another thing you got to keep in mind, they really took it easy today at camp. They just had a game Saturday. They had Sunday, Monday off. They're bringing these guys back in easy because if you don't, that's when hamstrings get pulled and whatnot. Now, something I want to bring up that Clyde brought up while we was there, it was the field conditions. There were several people slipping, and we're like, ooh.
Who was the one that caught your eyes slipping?
What JT slipped once. Who else was it that slipped, Clyde?
One of the quarterbacks. Maybe let's call it Nichols.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
And one of the quarterbacks was slipping.
Hmm.
You know, and we was just sitting there kind of having a conversation like, why don't they practice on turf where they don't slip like that? So I don't know. That was something that we talked about. Clyde pointed it out, and I never really paid attention to it before. So that was pretty interesting.
Okay. Well, again, to the fellas that been there, is going there. Hey, thank you for the insight of being there, giving us the 411 from your perspective, because some of us, even the people out there, we don't know what's going on because we see it from one view, but when we get in the up close and personal, we actually seen it from the field view. I think that's a good thing that you guys are giving us the intake on this. So
Well, we can try, but when you're up in the stands, they tell you not to record, not to take photos, but you still can. They don't have police out there confiscating nothing. But when you're on the field with your media credentials, absolutely not. You can't do anything extra. So at a certain point in practice, you just go by your notes. And for me, it's hard. I'm not a journalist, and I don't play one on TV, and I don't try to act like one. So my whole thing is getting videos, showing those videos, getting photos, showing those videos, and talking about what I actually see in the photo or the video. So I can't, to me, having media access is absolutely phenomenal, but I don't get to show what I normally show, if that makes any sense to you.
it does.
Yeah.
I think this is one we need to take. I didn't even see this. This was a star comment. But I don't think we know anything on TY. And with Mike getting back off the pup list, and they look like they have a full-fledged, receiving core now, you definitely got the people that are kind of in the camp body stage, but you definitely got your top five, too. I don't know, man. Vet talk, TY talk, it's very hush-hush now. So, honestly, I don't know if I know anything on this. Anybody want to, jump in, and y'all got any thoughts on that?
I honestly think if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. I think we need to move on, honestly. I mean, I know we have sentimental value with him, but I don't think bringing him back adds any sort of value, in my opinion. I'm just going to keep it real.
I'll say this, but last year, Irsay had to get involved to get the deal done. And I think they got it, done before camp. So I agree somewhat with Thomas is saying. They would have done it already, but if the drops continue, if there's still drops here and there, and then they're inconsistent, I can see them bringing Ty back because Ty don't drop balls. We are very, very young at receiver, very young, and tight end.
You want to throw your might as well look. That's a perfect plug for your.
I'll
stat.
go ahead and
put your stat out there.
Okay, I did see this earlier, guys. When it comes to receivers in 2022, the Colts are the second least expensive team. We spent $13.3 million, but it's been proven by teams like the Baltimore Ravens are the worst team when it comes to spending money at receiver. They can still make the playoffs. It can be done. We do have a dominant running attack. And with last year, with what happened with Carson Wentz, if you plug in Matt Ryan, we are in the playoffs, which I think we would have been. And then our defense was going to do what they do. What did we have in this last game? 5 turnovers? My goodness. Our defense is still intact, and we got great passers. They were all over the quarterback.
Facts.
So,
well, I like this comment that Andre said that he will not improve the team. And the reason why I say that is if we looking at Ty, it's definitely like in his later stages of his career. Carvey has definitely put that out there. If we're doing that, are we just wanting him back because we're just fans? And he's just an Indianapolis Colt till he's not. Is that what this more is? I don't think that he would be obsolete, but I don't think that you can start him either. So is he situational? Like if we brought him back, like I don't think we really even talked about that. What's the scope of this? What are you doing over there? Let me live in peace. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad that I'm not trying to be inconspicuous over here because Pat just like put me on blast. Yes, I got Colts cover on. It's cold in this house. Yeah. But anyway, so I don't think we've ever even talked about that. So I'm gonna go around the panel with that. Like, if we actually brought him back, what is his role? Third and short. Like, how do we even use Ty if he comes back? Chase, you got it.
I already said this months ago what his role was going to be. It was basically he's going to be the slot receiver. He's going to be there for third downs just to get those first downs. That's what he's basically down to now. He can still have speed, but he's at that time where it's time to retire, but not time to retire. He's in the middle.
Okay. Carvey, you seem like you got something to say. You got Ty's departure in the most positive, non-hatred toward Ty way for 6 months now.
Can y'all hear me?
3 years.
All right, so I'm just gonna say this, with all due respect, I respect him. I care for the man, and I wish nothing but great things for him. But I think it's like I said, it's time for him to go his separate way or retire. Because we are like everybody's saying, we're moving on to a new direction, and it's unfortunately it's not with him. So that's my thing. Yeah.
Country, what you got on that?
I mean, I kind of agree with Chase. Bring him in on the certain downs that we know we could use him in. I mean, first and goal situations, red zone situations, maybe even a deep ball here and there. Knowing that how old he is, they might not know he may not go for that deep ball anymore. So maybe we can surprise people with that deep ball. Since we have an arm in Matt Ryan. But yeah, just throw him in there with some trick plays too. Maybe some reverses or whatever. But, I mean, I think we can still use him in a way where he can still be valuable to the team as far as his leadership goes and make some big plays for us.
Thomas, I'll ask you, so if we're looking at this reduced role, is there a receiver in mind that comes to mind right away that you see like Ty fit in that role, but our team, like a veteran-type receiver who's been reduced significantly?
I mean, is there anybody I would rather have? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking, like, who do you see Ty's role as? Like, is there a receiver that you can think of in recent years? You're like, this guy used to be up here, but then this team used him.
Deion Branch.
He was still successful.
Deion, you remember him?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's exactly how I would compare him to.
Deion Branch.
Okay. Yeah.
Situational. Yeah, I was thinking like Ty's never been a big blocker, but even in his like later stages, like Hines Ward still always had like 300-400 yards and a couple catches throughout the year that were significant toward the end of his career, type
Right,
thing.
right.
So I
I
can
think
see that.
my biggest thing with T.Y. Hilton is like how he's not a big dude. I mean, how long was he our number one receiver? Like that was one of Ryan Grigson's like only good picks outside of the obvious ones. But like
Right.
we were never able to get him like a true complementary receiver. So like he has a lot. He's tiny and he has a lot of miles on it. So that's my thought process on that. Like maybe if he was a bigger receiver, like the Larry Fitzgeralds of the world, like playing to like 38, whatever. But he's just not that type. He's got a lot of wear and tear on it.
And he wasn't really hurt that much early on. It was just like over the last 3 to 4 years, all the soft tissue injuries and a little nag here, then an ankle here. But yeah, he played through a lot and adjusted to Andrews' retirement, and helped those quarterbacks out. So yeah, like I think that comes from it too. Like we want him back just because if this team is really good, what I don't want to see is this team be really good and then he's like Edgerrin James, like when Edgerrin James missed out. The year that Edgerrin James left, the exact year is the year we went to the Super Bowl and won it. And that was just wild to me, right? So if we're going to be that good and make a long playoff run, like I would want Ty to be a part of that.
I will say this: they would if Ty wasn't coming back, they would have taken his banner completely down off Lucas Oil Stadium a month before the season starts. His banner's still up.
Yeah. Drake is crazy. He always trying to plug the Niners. Nobody care about the Niners. Oh man. Okay. Well, I feel like we've talked about all of that. So seeing how Patrick got to watch the game after the fact, he said he DVR'd it. Let's bang that bitch and go into the actual game from Saturday. Pat, I thought you were supposed to take your cue, but you get your legs up. When I say bang that bitch, remember you're supposed to show your t-shirt? Boy, he's terrible.
I forgot. Shit. Sorry.
All right, moving on.
Well, I'm afraid to sit like this because Acosta's going to run his credit card through my fat rolls.
Y'all ain't right.
I don't want my shit denied.
Well, pay your damn bill then.
You might not get it back.
I mean, from a white guy, no, I won't get it back.
If we take it, we keeping it.
I believe
Pat, talk about the game.
Talk about game now.
Asshole.
Nothing really surprised me in this game. I did see some holes in that cover 3 defense, but I'm sure they're not putting all their horses out there in preseason, especially the first game.
No.
Schemes are going to get tighter. Coverage is going to get tighter. I know this. I think everybody knows that. I did not like how offense on the first possession went 3 and out. I thought they were more ready than that. They did pick it up. I thought Matt Ryan did really well. I think Nick Foles had some nervous issues because he didn't look too ready. Sam looked okay. I didn't watch the fourth quarter when Jack Cohen got in. Naheem looked great. And I really think we're just going to see a Naheem explosion. They're definitely going to get him way more involved. And that's definitely going to bring down JT's carry. So that's going to be interesting to see how they try to keep everybody involved that they have. Because we've got a lot of talent on this team.
Okay, I always got to wait for him to flip
back to you, Claude.
Chase, we got to give get your synopsis because Chase, you can sometimes be our guy who's a little bit worried. So you're already like grabbing your
true to my name, right?
Yeah, all right. So let's hear your take on it.
All right. Like I said, I was at work when I had to watch it after work, but after just sitting down and watching it, it's like, okay, for one, it's preseason. Two, we don't have JT. Those people are going to load the box. We're going to do play action. There's going to be touchdowns all over the field when JT gets back in there. We're not running the full playbook. We're basically preseason. We're probably just running high school plays. It's just probably a whole playbook just for preseason, playbook for regular season. I keep forgetting that that's probably what we do, but we're gonna be fine. Hines is gonna explode. I'm glad we discussed that months ago. And Hines needs to get the ball a lot more. He needs to get it 60 times at least. The defense looked great. They got to the quarterback, I don't know how many times. 5 turnovers. Rodrigo, to me, is going to be the kicker again this year. He made a 65-yard field goal in practice today.
65.
65. That's why I said 65.
Yeah, no, I was asking. That's crazy.
Yeah, so he made a 65-yard. He did like 3 or 4 long ones. Missed one of them. But other than that, I'm just worried about the O-line depth. Because when Nick Foles got blown up on the blind side, that worried me. And then once Cohen got in from Notre Dame, just everything just collapsed. I'm just worried about the O-line depth. That's the only thing I'm really worried about.
Yeah, I can see that because watching it, and you guys, I will honestly say I have never paid more attention to the trenches than I have now, based on how important Chris Ballard has emphasized that, and B, how you guys, are two old school fucking defensive linemen and offensive linemen. That's all they seem to care about. I like the skill positions, but I was paying a lot of attention to that. And I don't know. I don't want to be too over the top too soon or start acting, too crazy. But I did not like what I seen with Danny Pinter. And for me, with Danny Pinter, was like, I guess I've never really had to watch a player as much as I'm watching him because it's so unknown. I mean, he was was he like a tight end or something?
He played tight end and switched to guard in college.
Okay. So, Glow, we all know last year Glow took a couple steps back, but Glow still had the ability to be good in spots. And when I bring that up, it's like watching Danny Pinter. It's not that he doesn't fire off the ball, but he does not stay engaged. So immediately after getting off the snap and getting into the player, it's almost simultaneously that he's already disengaged. And the times that there were runs to his side, like you could just see him kind of whiff, and either the running back has to make, a really quick move to maybe get an extra yard or two, or the play it's dead because the guy's sitting right there. And that worries me. No matter how good JT is, no matter how good Hines is, they shouldn't have to overwork before they even get the ball in their hand good. So that's kind of concerning. And then I seen Pryor get beat a couple times, and he is a big guy, but I'm worried about that lateral movement. He's just kind of like a statue. And those are quote unquote the starters right now. So that is kind of concerning. But everything else, like I said, preseason game, you hit on it, Chase. Defense looks active, flying around the ball. It was fun to watch. Definitely just felt good to be a fan again. But it's only one preseason game, so we shouldn't go crazy. Joint practice is tomorrow and Thursday, but I know that they're not going to we're not starting anybody, right? No one starting on Saturday. Is that what I heard?
No, not one starter's playing. That's what was reported on Monday.
Okay. So to me, this is another who's really got the coaches in that last minute frenzy to make the right choices when it comes to cuts. So this is a big one. All right, I'm a hush.
Breaking news. If you didn't know already, Pat McAfee will be at training camp tomorrow with his entire show. So if You've missed Pat McAfee, and you want to try to get his autograph. He will be at camp tomorrow. Back to you, Clyde.
Oh, boomstick. What happened to Carvey? He left a while ago. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on the game. Let's go with you, Country. What would you see in the game? How did you feel about it?
Well, since you want to call me and Big P out being old school trench lovers, which we are, we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and start there coming off of you. So offensive line is a little shaky, but the only thing that P can agree with me, the best thing for an offensive and defensive line is repetition, etc. The more they get that movement that down, the more that, these offensive linemen will sync together. But, I mean, it is only one preseason game. They have a lot to shake off. First game jitters, whatever. And, Penter and Pryor, they've never really had this much pressure on them as starters yet. So they really have to get their game together and get their knowledge of the plays together and, get their bodies in shape, get their feet moving quicker. But, I mean, it all has to start there, and they know that. So I think this offensive line will be prepared. I think they'll have some hiccups in week one. Hopefully not. But, I mean, I think they'll be ready when the time needs them to be. And then going to the defensive line. Defensive line looks absolutely phenomenal. Queedy and Yannick were getting penetration behind the line every time. I love the new setup Gus has got them under. So, I mean, it's set up for success. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more stunt plays out of this defense than I have probably in the last 5 years of a Colts defense under can't remember his name right now.
Gus Bradley.
No, our previous defense coordinator.
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, Flus. Sorry about that. Yes, Flus. So under the last, few years of his coordinating, I've seen more stunt plays, and they've been really effective because we have that speed up front. That's what a lot of people don't talk about either on a defensive line is that speed. No, a lot of people don't talk about that anymore because we don't have a Robert Mathis or Dwight Freeney. But if you look at Yannick and Queedy, they're so explosive off the ends, and that's what you need. And then you need the quickness, explosiveness of Grove and Buckner in the middle where they can do those stunt plays or even those outside stunt plays with the defensive ends and then the outside coverage by the ends. At least the starting ends that I've seen were amazing. They hung outside like they're supposed to. And then, but I noticed Dio. I know Dio's your guy, but Dio blew a pretty big play and not hanging out and covering that outside gap. He had a pretty big run on him, but all that'll come, with experience and everything. They're professionals; they will adapt. So, I mean, overall, the defense looks absolutely amazing. That secondary is a monster. I mean, we could have a Legion of Boom type season with this secondary. We're going to have star players back there, and other than that, the receivers need to get their hands, get their hands work together. I know Chase has said that several times in our text messages, but he's right though. I mean, I love Alec Pierce's quick hands, and but he's obviously got that rookie mentality right now. He's real nervous, but all that'll come off, and I think we'll be good going forward. Though I know it's week one preseason, so looking forward to what's next.
Let's see. What did you guys think of Sam and Nick Foles on Saturday? That's a good question. For us, we were talking about this, me and P out there on the field a little bit. I really think, and I think you have to be honest, right? So you always got to think about the competition that you're going against. So Sam was clearly going against 3-4 guys. Nick, probably 2-3 guys, talking about the Bills defense. And it's not to take anything away from that, but it's like when you do these evaluations, let's do them fairly, right? And so Sam looked amazing. 10 for 11, 88 yards, couple TDs, scrambling around, making plays. And I think we already knew that from Sam. We knew that. We seen that coming out in Texas, and his only real knock was his size. So Sam definitely looks like he's got a little bit more understanding of the offense. He looks more comfortable. He was able to adjust and make things happen. And it's been a while since we've had a Colts quarterback that could do that. Even though we had Carson Wentz last year, Carson Wentz was not the Carson Wentz that we remembered in Philly. And then Nick, the only knock that I have on Nick is Nick's a wily vet, and it's certain things I feel like he should just be slightly better at. Like when he took the big hit, like I feel like he should have that feel for the pocket, right? He should know like timing. And we know Nick has a big arm, so he likes to wait as long as he can, and then he's going to uncork. And it looked like he was about to do that on that play, and it was a good drive. He had just made, a couple good throws, moving the ball, and then boom, the fumble. So you would like to see a wily vet be better in those situations, understanding that they call it the clock in their head. But I don't think there's anything, even though Sam was 10 for 11 and played really well, I don't think there's anything that currently is suggesting that there's a change at number 2, is my thoughts. And then I'll pass the buck. Thomas, you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, so I wasn't able to watch it live, unfortunately, but based on the highlights, I'm really excited because Isaiah Rodgers, it looks like, had a hell of a game, and he's my favorite. He's my favorite defensive player right now. I don't know what it is about him. He just reminds me of like a Antonio Cromartie from back in the day. But he had like a 40-yard kick return, and his interception was phenomenal. I was kind of worried, like going into that game, that like maybe last year was like lightning in a bottle for him, but it looks like he's going to continue to be that guy. I think he'll be cornerback number 1 before it's all said and done, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this, I should have said this. Pat was nudging me, so I was being a bit of a punk. But Gus Bradley came to the tent, and I don't know why, I just couldn't click it in my head. But I wanted to ask, like, is there a true battle for number 2 cornerback? Because we all seen Brandon, or is it Brandon? I think it's Brandon Faxon. Is that his name? He started, and I was really like wondering like why. And I know Gus had him last year, so I'm hoping it's not a little bit of home cooking there. But I'm like, I haven't seen anything that says that Isaiah Rodgers shouldn't be our number 2, especially since he's second year with the team. He's been able to show, even as a rookie, like I can make plays. Or is this his 3rd year? Is this Isaiah's 3rd year?
This will be his. I think it's his second year. Is it his 3rd year?
No, he came in with Julian. Yeah, this is 3rd
year.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this dude has made leaps and bounds, and boom, as soon as he gets in the game, turnover. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. That's something to watch for me, honestly. But yeah, Julian is one of those. Him and Nick Cross, bro. Those dudes
Nick Cross,
are trying to make a play every time. Every time they want to make a play.
The whole secondary, just like, yeah, they did really well. That's why I'm excited.
Oh, Craig. Y'all see Craig's comment? He said, "Are you saying Sammy should have been number 1 over Rivers last year? Or you mean over Wentz?"
No, he means Rivers.
Well, Rivers didn't play with us last year. That was 2 years ago.
He don't watch Colts football. He don't watch Colts football that much.
Oh, Craig doesn't?
He needs to watch something because Sam was still in Texas when we had Rivers.
Yeah,
what I tried to tell you.
Yeah, we drafted Sam when we had Wentz here.
He meant Wentz. That's what he meant. Get your head out of your ass, tweeter.
Yeah, he meant Wentz.
I think somebody needs to put down the alcohol. Craig.
Damn, y'all on Craig's head.
But yeah, going to Ronnie's comment. You can ask Thomas. When I was at camp, I was all over Brooks. Brooks is going to be a monster for this team. He was surprised I knew his name. Like, dude, I've been following you when you were at Cincinnati. I knew ever since you guys beat Notre Dame, I was following you guys the whole season. You were a captain of that defense, and everybody can see like what even though it gets number 2s and 3s, you still got to get to them. There's some players that don't have that dog mentality to get to the quarterback. They don't. He does.
Thomas's phone looks like a remote from the 1980s.
Shut up.
And I can't.
That's a big phone.
I can't wait to have him on next week. He'll probably remember me when he gets on the show Tuesday. But
look at Chase, you like fanboying the hell out of that, ain't he?
He was.
Yeah,
I tell you,
I'm the one that suggested it in the group to see if we can get Brooks. I'm ecstatic. But
I think somebody's riding my train here because I've been high on Brooks since we drafted him, and I don't remember anybody else on this panel being that high on Brooks.
I was behind Brooks.
Oh, he was
day
a
one.
5th round pick. I don't know.
We all know you were high on something.
Well, most of the days I am, yes. You, Clyde.
There it is. I knew it was coming. No, but talking to his future son-in-law today, like that dude's a savant, bro. And it's gonna be amazing what Pat and new pal CBD and him and Tony accomplished. So, yeah, that's gonna be great, man. That dude's awesome. But no, staying on track with the game, like real shit. Thomas, I want you to jump into this because you were the first one to say it.
Yeah.
But you said the Colts fans immediately. What'd you call it? They had their breakdown. You called it something. Where it's like people were on Twitter.
Colts Twitter. Yeah, dude, Colts Twitter was in shambles. Like it was. I woke up. I was like, dude, y'all gotta chill. Like I don't remember ever in my whole like 25 years of being a Colts fan, I've never seen a meltdown happen that fast. I think that's a record. I don't know why. Like I don't know.
What was? I don't follow Twitter a lot. I don't do the Twitter here.
People were calling for Matt Ryan. I woke up because I work nights. I wake up later. I woke up at it was like 4:45, and it's like cut Matt Ryan. I'm like, what is going on? And then it was a night, and they were winning the game too. I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't believe it.
They cut Matt Ryan. Cut
him? Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I'm telling you, dude.
Lord.
If anybody reacts to the very first preseason game, that's a red flag not to ever listen to them about football. I'm sorry, it just is.
Yeah.
There's still so much these guys are learning, schemes from new coaches, new faces. A few days in training camp, a few days in mini camp, OTAs, it's not enough to put everything together.
No, not at all.
I won't be too hard on anybody until the third actual game.
It doesn't matter. Like the Ravens, I think they've won like 22 preseason games in a row. I mean, what have they done? I mean,
true that.
And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, 06, 07, I think the Colts lost every single preseason game and they won the Super Bowl. So it don't matter.
Yeah, it really does. It's not designed to give you the forecast of the season. It's designed to give these players a chance to get their legs back under, get the speed back into their memory bank, give the coaches something else to watch so they can determine who's making the team. That's it. Now, I was surprised when they first drove all the way down the field. They were in the red zone, got a penalty or something, and instead of running it on 4th down, trying to get the touchdown, they kicked it. If you ask me, that's a perfect time to try out that dump pass into the corner, or this reverse or something like that, to see how you can judge these trick plays to get those touchdowns.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised not to see Frank not go for it then.
It was a false start, and then backed him up to the 6-yard line.
Yeah.
Okay,
back to you, Clyde.
So Ronnie brought this up.
I love saying that.
I really think we need a vet receiver. Starting to think. Okay, so yeah, Ronnie, we talked about that earlier in the show. I feel like too, like it's all about chemistry, and I know what we haven't seen is that consistency. Like, okay, year 2, same quarterback, right? So Frank's been here 5 years, and every single year he's got a new guy. So we got to allow him the opportunity. That's only fair. Allow him the opportunity to finally start to see some of this chemistry. And And I think that that's going to come. We might have a few bad weeks, but like Thomas just alluded to, we cannot just have a meltdown because I feel like like this group's got a gel. And even if we brought in a big name, which at this point everybody keeps saying that, if it's not Ty, perhaps OBJ. After that, the list gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's really like, unless we're thinking some crazy trade to happen, there's no real timing left or no real big players left, to bring in this late. Like, I mean, you can scrub the list and I'm sure you can find a guy here or there, but do they really fit our system? And I think we're up against that more than anything now, Ronnie, in my opinion. Like, we might have missed the boat on bringing in whoever or trying to make a play for one of these big names. So at this point, I think we have who we have, and it's just time to let them play and let them gel. Now, again, that's growing pains, and I think we'll find some games. It's probably going to be a game or two. I just know how it is. It's be a game or two. Somebody's going to drop a big third down pass in the fourth quarter, may cost us a game, and everybody's going to be like up in arms. But we're gonna have to be able to overcome that, because just remember this, and it's always this way: you don't lose one game. I'm sorry, you don't lose a game on one play. Other things led up to that, but we get caught up in the moment. So I think this receiving core, and that's something we probably can go into deeper later. I think this receiving core is going to be the biggest scapegoat all year. Every game that we lose, they're going to find a way to put it on them. I just feel that way. I feel like they are the weak spot, and I'm saying that very loosely, but if you're just looking at all of the different positions and looking at who we have and the depth and all of that, I feel like the receiving core is the one that is most unproven other than Michael Pittman Jr., and they are going to be the easy scapegoat for every loss. Oh, the receivers didn't get separation. Oh, the receivers, dropped the pass here. Oh, no one stepped up. Like, that's what it's going to be. That's just my thoughts on that. But that's what we got, and we're going to have to work through it.
Isn't it always?
Well, here's your top 10 free agent receivers, if you guys are ready, that are still left.
Thank you, Chase.
So, OBJ's number 1. Emmanuel Sanders. Antonio Brown. But everyone says he's done. Cole Beasley, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, John Ross, Adam Humphries, Willie Snead, and Deshaun Jackson. That's what you're down to.
And I'm not like, if Fuller injuries and Fuller drugs, but Fuller is probably the most appealing name on the list that's not injured. So taking, of course,
I'd
OBJ
rather have
is the name.
I'd take Cole Beasley.
Willie Snead used to be good
That's a
once upon a time. I don't know if you guys remember
those
that.
first downs for you.
Yeah. Yeah, but Cole Beasley, like, is that what we need though? Like, I feel like if we're gonna do this, you need somebody that's going to make impact. Cole Beasley, solid third down guy, got it. But OBJ definitely the number one, but he's hurt. So Will Fuller to me is the most appealing.
Yeah,
that's
unless you want the diva of Antonio Brown.
Well, that's over with. I don't think no one's touching that. Just why would they?
No.
Right.
Willie Snead used to be good. I don't know if you guys remember that. And he's not even that old yet.
Yeah,
but...
he used to be with New Orleans, and that was the only time he was kind of relevant.
Yeah. Then he went to Baltimore. I think that was the last I heard of him.
Yeah, Snead was decent. Yeah. But again, like, I don't think that he makes, like, so with what we have now, like, what is it? What type of receiver do you think? And I know what Chase just said, what's left, but what type of receiver fits, or what are we missing as a receiving core that one player brings to that table? You know what I'm saying? Knowing what we have, like, what type of player are we missing? Are we missing a possession guy? Are we missing a speedster? Like, what do we want?
I think it's the speedster, like how Peyton used to have his receivers. He had Reggie, he had Marvin, he had Stokely. So I think it's the speed guy on the outside.
Well, then that's Fuller to me. Fuller,
if he can stay healthy.
And let's give Campbell a chance too. Maybe.
Right. Parrish looked really
Campbell
good,
has
man.
The speed if he can. Campbell definitely has the speed if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. And Like, but Paris looks really good. Like out of his breaks, he looks comfortable. And I don't know how people I've been injured, ruptured Achilles and stuff like that. But of course, I'm not a professional athlete. But that's a more mental when you start hurting like knees, Achilles, and things like that. Like that's more mental than anything because you just don't know if the next step is your last step. So I say that to say like he's not playing at the moment or moving at the moment like anything is a fear of his, and that's good. That's good, and I pray. I mean, he's deserving, right? Football gods should look out for him this year. I pray that they do because he's been through a lot, and I would hate to see him be in a situation where he never got to see his potential based off of injury. So we got to give it a chance, bro. We got to because he creates separation.
Just like I said earlier, this is preseason. They're not putting the playbook out there. They're really not. They got probably they're doing like 10% of the playbook in preseason. That's it. And it's preseason is mostly for the guys that are trying to make the team.
Yeah.
And
Ronnie, to your point, that's where Paris is definitely going to be. And you got to look at Naheem Hines too. Like Naheem Hines is the absolute star of training camp right now. Bro, every time he touches the ball, it's incredible. Like even when the play is blown up, the defense got in the backfield today, like completely swarmed their little whatever it was. I think it was a reverse or something like that. But even though, they blew the whistle relatively quickly, like he made like 2 or 3 cuts in a matter of like a half a second that would have easily sprung him. I don't care if Buckner was back there, Grover was back there, but if they would have let that play continue, real game situation, a -4 loss was probably easily a 8-9 yard game. That's how shifty he is. It's crazy to see.
Yeah,
so
today at camp he had a 60-yard wheel route for a touchdown.
Yeah, me and Pat seen that. It's crazy. We were standing right there when he happened, and I think that's what I was talking about earlier. It's just like that type of play from him is going to give these other receivers a chance because you put a lot of pressure on the defense when you got JT coming out the backfield in one type of I guess he's coming out in one type of style of run, power with some finesse, and then you got the other one just pure speed and finesse. And so that's going to adjust to the flats, which should open up these receivers to have more one-on-one, or there's going to be other drag routes open. Paris Campbell, if you watch Ohio State, drag route king, give him 5 yards and a few steps. That's easily 10, 12 yards every time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like their ability to come out the backfield will open up the receivers as well. So, I mean, we just got to go through the growing pains. That's it.
What Ohio State also did for Paris Campbell, they put him in the backfield to help out Zeke. He was a little bit of a running back in the day.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, and this is not a knock on our guy. I do like Alec Pierce, but remember when we did our draft analysis and we were breaking down receivers, and I talked about George Pickens. Have y'all been watching him?
Yeah, he's been
bully. Oh my God! And I think, and the only reason why I bring his name up because he's shown how significant he can be in a blocking, in blocking and stuff like that. Can you imagine if we had another edge like that blocking? JT and Hines would have so much more space as well. So that's something to watch. I mean, it's too late now. He's already a Pittsburgh Steeler, but he was higher on my list than Alec Pierce. He was like my third, behind, of course, Christian Watkins. And I think he was my second, I think. I have to go back and watch.
I think he was picked,
but it's just crazy to watch him.
He got picked before we got our pick at 51, right?
I believe
Well,
so.
I don't know, but he was the 11th receiver taken though.
He was.
So no, I think Alec went before him. Alec went in the 30s, right?
Alec went at. No, our first
where did we
pick 50. Our first pick was pick 51.
Right.
Oh, was it?
Or 42, something like that.
Well, remember we traded back too.
Yeah, we traded back with Minnesota.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is there was 11 receivers taken before him, and I know he had the injury thing coming out and whatever, but watch him. I mean, he's a dog. He just literally pushes cornerbacks to the ground. It's crazy to watch, actually. And it's not something new. He's been doing it since college, and he did it last week in his first preseason game. Like these are whole grown men he's shoving to the ground, like off of like a real life push. Like it's almost like he's got some kind of force push going on, some Gambit or something from X-Men. It's crazy, but anyway, Yeah, man. So that's my thoughts on preseason game. Whatever. We about at the hour mark. I'm gonna shut my mouth. I'm Patrick. I'm a back to you so that you can do your thing.
How you gonna steal my thing? That's not right. Back to you, Clyde.
Country,
You know
take
what?
this.
I was gonna say. You know what? That sounds like
I'm
both
fading
y'all.
to black.
Okay,
I'm getting darker by the second.
Oh my god.
Before you know it, it's just gonna be the silver from the shirt. So I'm trying to get out of here. I keep adjusting the screen. It's not helping me.
All right. So it sounds like y'all need to chill the hell out. And one way to do that is with New Pal CBD products. Located in New Palestine, Indiana. Big P, hit him up. He's got gummies, oils, lotions, edibles, any type of edibles you want. He's got pens. He's got bath bombs. He's got whatever you want just to chill your ass out. So get over there, see them at New Pal CBD. Or if you can't make it there, go to New Pal CBD. Or no, not New Pal CBD no more. ChronicInnovations.com.
Somebody say back to him.
Back to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Acosta. That was a very nice plug. Now, there has been a challenge thrown at you, Country.
I know.
Can you grow your hair out all season long and donate it to the Big P Hair Fund?
Just to hear it out loud was just that much funnier. There won't be that much.
Bro, I want like a real life 80s like mullet, like hawk thing going. I want lines in the side. Do it right, bro.
An Indian with a mullet and an American flag on the side of his skull. I like it. How much more American can you get?
Well,
Like Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
if you eat apple pie off a Molly Hatchet mirror, that's about the only way you're going to get more
What does that even
American than
mean?
that.
Just
Would that be it?
Who is Molly Hatchet?
Oh my god!
Don't make me smack you.
We do have
Oh my god.
question. We do have a question from comments. What undrafted player makes the team this year?
Well, this is a good question.
Isn't that thing still going where we've almost done it for like 25, 26 years straight?
No, I don't think we picked one up last year. I think it broke last year.
That is a good question, though.
That's a great question.
Oh,
Really,
I got one. I
really,
got
Eric?
one right off the bat.
Really?
That linebacker that's flying around. I can't remember his name. Is it Jojo Damon?
Oh, him. I like whatchamacallit too. The safety. The kid that came from overseas or something.
Oh, yeah. He said he only played one play, and that was in special teams. They gave him one play in preseason. One play.
Well, I'm
All
sure
right,
we'll
so-
see him more.
Before Clyde fades to black, y'all want to do your final thoughts?
Oh my god.
He
He
said
ain't
it,
lying.
Thomas.
What?
I mean, he's used to that Las Vegas sun. It's getting darker here.
Oh Lord.
Big P, since you haven't had a lot to say tonight, it's to you. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Wow. Just this is something me and Clyde was talking about earlier today. And we're all blessed. We get blessings every day. You know, what the hell? Put that damn thing down. Not back to you, Clyde. Not back to you.
Are you trying to tell me to scalp this man? I mean, look at him. What can I do?
I don't know, but that stereotype is true. Clyde's is bigger than mine.
What is going on in that house right now?
There's knives and there's tapes. I don't.
There's
wanna
knives and there's tape and there's Whoa,
there's-
whoa!
Fucking go through my entire office.
Sounds like someone's going to sleep over there.
The drawers too. Anyway, my final thought.
Clyde over here looking like Day and shit, going through everything.
He acted like Bebe's kids, getting into everything. My final thoughts. Hey, man, we're all blessed. So share those blessings. That's it. That's it. Just, be thankful for what you got and share the blessings. Make the world a better place. Acosta, back to you.
You goofy son bitch. Chase, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is I've always believed in paying it forward because people have paid it forward for me, helping me get on track as becoming a man and helping me get my own house and get cars and all that. So what I've basically done, I'm helping out my brother. He's living with me now. He's going to be working with me starting this Friday. Got him a full-time job and want to help him be on a great path, just like people have led it for me. Get him back on the track of life, and so that way he can see his daughter more and have a good head on his shoulders. He just needs more positive people, and I'm just trying to be that male role model that he needs. That's other people that paved the way for me.
That's awesome, man. We all can probably point at one time or another, even now, having that positive role model in our life. So prayers for him, man, and you as you continue to help guide him along and, with his new journey, trying to do everything right. So with that, Thomas, what's your thoughts, buddy?
Like I said, good to be back this week. Y'all should be on the lookout. I'm back into writing. We announced last time I was on. I'm starting my first piece, so keep an eye out for that. It's my first article in 3.5 years. I'm excited to be back into it. So hopefully I can keep up with some good, consistent content for you guys.
Awesome.
Now I know what's wrong with Acosta. If that's your role model.
Easy, Patrick. Put the mic back up. Clyde.
Third.
What is your thoughts?
No, I'm just having fun, man. P has the most random shit on his table over here. That's why I was just grabbing. I was like, this is wild. Tape, knives, and medication. I don't know what goes on in this man's office. But anywho, no, I'm gonna just say my final thoughts. It's like I'm thankful, man. Like it's a crazy journey that has led from my previous Coach podcast with my 2 brothers to now this podcast with my 5 brothers that then led me to being, full-fledged training media camp access today. So just in a short amount of time, I've gone from, man, this is fun to do to, damn, there is, Stephon Gilmore and Frank Wright and everybody else. So you never know what's going to come your way, but always just be thankful and grateful that you had those opportunities. So I appreciate this entire panel. I appreciate you, Acosta, and you, Pat, for asking me to be a part of this. And this has been super cool, man. And this ride, though it's just now really beginning, is wild as hell. And, I'm here for the long haul, man.
Oh, yeah.
Bang that bitch.
I mean, you couldn't said it no better. I couldn't say no better myself, Clyde. I mean, it's a joy to be able to be on the show with every one of you all. I mean, I know you called me Big Softy the other day, Clyde. I seen that.
Oh, you did. No, that was good, man. You said that was heartfelt. I was just messing with you.
Oh, I know. But it is a joy that I've got to meet every one of you all, and it's been such a blessing in my life and a joy. I mean, during some of my roughest times, I've got on the show, and it's made me smile. So that's all I like to do is try to smile when I can. I mean, my buddy Craig, he's my brother, and he gives me a lot of shit, but he tells me all the time, like, you need to smile more. So, I'm working on it. So, but, I get on here and I smile a lot. So I'm thankful for that every day. And like you said, Clyde, going from the dream of playing football to that not happening, to being as close to the sport as I possibly can, is such a blessing. Being right there on the field with them players and alongside my favorite team is beyond words how I can describe how I felt, during my media day. So, again, thank you all. Thank you, P. Thank you, Clyde, Thomas, Chase, CJ. You are the best. So, with all that being said, y'all stay blessed. No drinking and driving. But above all, go Colts.
Go Colts.
Go Colts.
You dig.
Go Colts.
Back to you, Patrick.
Peace.